Welcome into Payoff Pitch, Action Network's Major League Baseball betting podcast. We are presented by BetMGM. Brendan Glasheen tonight joined by BJ Cunningham and Tanner McGrath for Tuesday, June 4th. Best Bets. You can hear Best Bets episodes every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday mornings during the regular season. So subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your pods and find us also video version over on the Action Network YouTube page. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't. We have switched up our recording times. I'm going to just keep doing this for the next couple days just so people are aware. We're doing these the night before the slate. So whatever is available to us, we will discuss. If not, well, there are pros and cons. But here we are. We want to get these shows out the night before. Plenty of time for the people, you, to digest. Tuesday, June 4th, has a full 15-game slate. I mentioned to the guys earlier, if you're curious, the Somerset Patriots, I just became aware of the fact that the Somerset Patriots are now affiliated. Like, I thought they were just like some club summer team, which they were, right? Before? Okay. The guys are nodding. Yankees affiliate. Garrett Cole's going to make a rehab start tomorrow. Something to keep an eye on there with those red-hot Yankees. That's just something that interests me as far as news is concerned.
Yeah, a lot of those teams are getting incorporated, like the Vermont Lake Monsters up in Burlington, at my home state of Vermont. They're now with the Oakland A's, which is crazy to think about.
Where did they used to be affiliated?
It was a collegiate summer league team.
It was? Okay. I thought there was short A ball before too. Maybe you're going back though, I think.
Yeah, no, this was recent.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like the Lowell Spinners, my hometown Lowell.
Yep.
No longer the short season single A Red Sox. Anyway, that's just an aside. Best bets. Let's go to BJ first. What do you have for us, BJ? Full slate tomorrow.
Mariners A's. Speaking of the A's, Mariners A's under 7.5 even money.
Yeah, they must be drinking the lake water. These bullpen guys. The lake water in Vermont is getting them geared up to be one of the best bullpens in baseball.
It's clean up there, clean air.
Yeah, Mason Miller, best stuff plus rating in baseball. Did blow a save though, so I guess he is human. But no, I like under 7.5 at even money. George Kirby will be on the mound for the Mariners. He's been, again, really, really good this season. 3.5 expected ERA. His walk per 9 rate is actually at 0.79, which is lower than it was last season when he led Major League Baseball with the lowest walk rate. He has made a couple changes this season that has actually benefited him, I think. He's gone with the trend of most major leaguers who are now just throwing fastballs up in the zone, because I think that the data has told them that you're more effective and you can generate better fly balls, especially for somebody like Kirby who pitches in Seattle. He's been really effective with his fastball by doing that. The A's do struggle hitting fastballs up in the zone. So a decent matchup here for Kirby to continue to be one of the better pitchers in baseball. Mitch Spence will be on the mound for the A's. He's been actually really good this season. He's had 14 appearances, three of them been as a starter, 11 in the bullpen. As a starter, he's only about a 4.2 xFIP. He's been much better as a bullpen guy. But when you actually dig into him, he's got an incredible slider. He throws it 40% of the time. It's got a stuff plus rating of 123. He's allowing under a 300 expected weighted on base average. He's in the 97th percentile for horizontal break. This thing breaks like almost 18 inches. It's an incredible pitch. He also throws a cutter. Those are his main two pitches. The Mariners are in the bottom half of baseball in terms of expected weighted on base average against the right-handed version of both of those pitches. Both these teams had the day off yesterday. Both these teams have elite bullpens. You got stuff plus, pitching plus, whatever. So I think the total's a little high. I predicted 7.1 runs. And we're playing this game in Oakland, which, Spence, especially with his slider, is generating about a 40% fly ball rate. And like I mentioned, Kirby has improved his fly ball rate significantly as well. Oakland, along with San Francisco, are the most pitcher-friendly parks in terms of giving up home runs. So there'll be crosswind in Oakland as well, so that shouldn't affect the ball too much. So projected 7.1 runs, so like under 7.5 at even money.
Yeah, the A's and the Red Sox are the future of pitching in baseball because they stopped throwing fastballs and they just throw more junk. And now they're both elite at forcing weak contact and whiffs. Kirby had a few rough outings there for a bit, but he really bounced back against Houston. 8 strikeouts, 1 earned run over 6 innings. Damn good pitcher, that guy.
Mm-hmm. I said it, Taylor. I think he's got the best control over his arsenal of anybody in baseball.
Yeah,
It's just my
over the
opinion,
past
but
like half decade, I can't
yeah.
think of anyone else. It's just pinpoint location every single
Mm-hmm.
time. He knows exactly where the pitch is going. Really is beautiful to watch.
All right, Tanner, best bet for you. Also a total.
Yeah, let's talk about some park factors. So I'm going to be on the Royals Guardians over 8.5. I actually grabbed a juiced over 7.5 minus like one. I think it was like minus 120 ish, and that just seems crazy to me. I would make this total 9 at least. Progressive Field has seen a monster boost in park factor year over year. It's typically been at Pitchers Park, ranked 28th in park factor last year. Their 3-year rolling average is like 27th. This season, Progressive Field is 9th, has the 9th highest park factor, the 2nd highest double factor, and the 3rd highest home run factor. I picked up this stat from Forbes, which is a little dated, but worth mentioning. Through May 19th, 9.4% of 95 to 100 mile per hour fly balls were home runs. That's across all of Major League Baseball. In Cleveland, 23% of those hard hit fly balls were homers. That's crazy. I don't know what changed. Do you guys know anything? Did Cleveland make any park changes year over year?
I don't think so, and it's generally been a park that's built up pretty high. Like,
Yeah.
when you talk about wind and everything like that, just for the people out there who are maybe new to betting baseball, one of the reasons why Wrigley Field is the one field that they always hold off on putting the totals out is it's because it's built down so far that the wind affects it so much. Because if you think about a lot of other stadiums, the behind home plate's built up so far, so wind still has a factor, but not as drastic as it does at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I could find is that it's been a warmer than average spring in Cleveland. It's going to be 80 on Tuesday again. Ballpark Pal is projecting a plus 9% run factor, or plus 15% double factor. So it's a hitter's park right now. And when it comes to the actual players on the field, I wrote in this week's Better's Notebook. Go check that out in the Action Network app and on the site. The entire Royals run prevention unit is due for significant negative regression. Everyone except for Garrett Cole, Hamels, Reagans, but everyone else on down due for severe negative regression. The bullpen is the worst in baseball. Worst expected FIP, worst stuff plus, both by fairly considerable margins. They've posted a 4% strikeout minus walk rate over the past 2 weeks. 14% strikeout rate, 10% walk rate. Today's starting pitcher, Seth Lugo, who is having a hell of a season and really a hell of a renaissance as a starting pitcher after being in the bullpen for so long. He's drastically overperforming. 90% strand rate, a 250 BABIP, a home run to fly ball rate that's half of his career average, 6%. He's been about a 13%, 14% guy his entire career. So he has a 1.7 ERA, but it's paired with expected run indicators, pushing 4. His stuff profile is down. We could see some serious home run regression in the now uber homer friendly Progressive Field against the Guardians lineup that has posted a 116 WRC plus against righties over the past 2 weeks. On the flip side, the Guardians have the league's best bullpen, but Tristan McKenzie is a negative regression candidate with a historic home run problem. He's already given up 7 in 35 innings of Progressive this year. His velocity is down 2 ticks. He's trying to throw more curveballs, which is probably smart because that's his best pitch, but he still throws his four-seamer almost half the time with 0 success. Hitters are slugging almost 600 off the pitch, and his slider is a complete mess. It's a good pitch, but he's only getting like half of them over for strikes, and it's just all over the place. He can't locate it. He can't find the zone, nothing. So he's struggling with command overall. I mean, he has a 14% walk rate, and his 3.8 ERA, his expected run indicators are well north of 5. The Royals offense is streaky up and down, but they hit the ball hard. Over the past month and against right-handed pitching, they pair a 45% pull rate with a 30% fly ball rate. And guess what? Progressive Field is a great place to pull fly balls. Also, the Guardians' defense, not that good. Back half of the league in defensive runs saved and outs above average. A little low in that unit. So, like I said, I snagged the juiced over 7.5 on Monday night. I think that line is crazy. I think this number should be 9. And over 8.5 is good to me. There are still some plus 100s available out there, and I think that minus 110 is playable.
Yep, there's some 8s as well at even money available for Royals Guardians. It's a hot boy summer in Cleveland this year. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Sorry. Let's go to Fade the Public. Houston, and St. Louis, the Cardinals, who are winning despite playing on Sunday Night Baseball as we speak. Just a 2-0 game right now, but the money's piling in on the Houston Astros. 95% of the bets, 90% of the cash on Houston. Their money line price. I don't see a line, so if you guys have it, please feel free to weigh in with that once I throw to you. BJ, any edge on the Cardinals?
Yeah, I actually kind of do like the Cardinals. I saw a +1, excuse me, a +130 out there on the Cardinals, which I thought was maybe a little bit too low. Spencer Arrighetti he's got good stuff numbers, but he's got terrible control. Walk per 9 rate over 4. He has yet to have a start that he hasn't walked 2 batters or more. His expected ERA is in the high 4s. He hasn't been improving a little bit lately. But the Cardinals offense has been good against right-handed pitching. They have 105 WRC+. They've been perfectly fine against them. You go into these bullpens, the Cardinals have an elite bullpen. They're top 5 across the board. And then the flip side of it is Andre Palante will be on the mound, who generally has been pitching out of the bullpen for his career with St. Louis. Started a game against the Reds, went 6 innings and didn't give up a run. So he stayed in the starting rotation. He can frustrate this Houston lineup that, is still good against lefties, but they hit righties way better than they do lefties. So I think +130 is a little high. Projected Houston closer to -110 with how erratic, let's just say, Arrighetti has been. So I kind of like the Cardinals at +130.
Yep, Houston's price -145. Tanner, your thoughts here on this one with the money coming in on Houston?
The Cardinals are really trending up against right-handed pitching. Only the Yankees have been more productive against the side over the past month, which is really, really saying something. And like BJ said, I love the Cardinals back end of the bullpen. The Romero, Helsley, Fernandez trio is pretty much lights out. I just can't get on this one because I'm still in on the Astros pulling everything together. I still think this is a very undervalued team, and I still am looking to play on them because I think that they're going to figure it out very soon, and I'm going to hold that even when they miss the playoffs in October.
One thing I'll mention. Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead, BJ.
Yeah, sorry. One thing I was going to mention before we move on. The Cardinals pitched everybody on Sunday Night Baseball in terms of their bullpen.
Yep.
So this may have to be more of a first 5 type of play than an actual full game if they decide to use those 3 guys that you mentioned, Tanner, because they would not be available, which would take away one of their big edges. So just be on the lookout for that, of how this, you're obviously not listening to this live, but when you're listening to this tomorrow morning, just make sure to double check who actually pitched.
Yeah, follow us in the Action Network app to see all of our plays. Best app in the world. Spencer is part of the reason I'm in on the Astros is that a lot of their pitchers and the young guys are due for a lot of positive regression. Spencer is one of them, and I think he put some of it together last start against the Mariners. 8 Ks, 2 hits across 6 scoreless innings, put up 9 whiffs on the cutter, had a 33% CSW rate across his 90 pitches. I lean Cardinals because the bullpen lineup combination is really, really flying high, but I can't get there because I'm still in on the Astros. And I think that Spencer is really underperforming. I think he's much, much better than even his expected earned run indicators say.
Excellent. Very good. All right, so a little disagreement. Let's go to underdogs. BJ.
Mm-hmm.
Red Sox. They're coming. They're home, staying home. They've got the Braves coming in. What an unfortunate landing spot that we don't get Chris Sale at Fenway Park for a start.
I know, that is sad. Yeah, so the Red Sox, they are 30-30 as we're recording this, obviously. This is how average they've been, Brendan. They previously have been 1-1, 2-2, 7-7, 9-9, 10-10, 19-19, 22-22, 24-24, 26-26, 27-27, 28-28, and 29-29.
Have you guys seen that meme that says it's time to go back to 500, dear? And it's like the Boston Red Sox on the side. That's one of my favorites.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a classic. Yeah.
They're an average team.
81-81.
Exactly. No, but I think Cutter Crawford's been pretty good this season, around a little over a 3 expected ERA. A lot of it, he's been really good with his fastball. That's only allowing a 2 81 expected weighted on base average. And now that Acuna is out for the Braves, when you look at their lineup against right-handed pitching, it's basically just Marcell Ozuna, who's been dominant. I mean, Olsen's been fine, but guys like Riley, Albies, Michael Harris, they've been below 100 WRC plus against right-handed pitching. So, and even overall in the season, Atlanta's only 104 WRC plus, when last season, I mean, they were in the 120 range. They were leading Major League Baseball. They were dominant. So I'm just not buying that this Atlanta offense is going to suddenly rebound and get back to being one of the elites. It is hard fading Max Fried, who has been really, really good this season. Like he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, and he's very difficult to face because he generates so much soft contact. Because Tanner, he's not throwing a lot of fastballs. He's throwing his curveball has been outstanding, but he is due for a little bit of negative aggression. If you look through all of his pitches, the weighted on base average allowed compared to the expected weighted on base average, every pitch is overperforming. So he is due for a little bit of regression here. So projected the Braves at only minus 125. So we're now getting Red Sox at plus 142. So I think there's a little bit of value on the Red Sox.
I know all three of us are Red Sox fans here, and I just want to say, not just for us three, but also for all of Red Sox fandom nation, I've been really, really encouraged by this season. I actually have really enjoyed watching this team play. Yes, they're a little average, but there's a lot to look forward to. A, they've been ravaged by injuries. I mean, the fact that they're even only 3.5 games back in the wild card race, that's a miracle. B, their pitching has been phenomenal. Andrew Bailey and Justin Willard are amazing. Tanner Houck could win the AL Cy Young. C, their young outfield is awesome. Who is that? Jarren Duran, Cedian Rafael, Wilyer Abreu. 2 of them are Rookie of the Year contenders. Boston ranks 4th among MLB teams in outfield WAR this season between those 3. Duran leads the whole team in F4. Abreu is a great defensive outfielder. In fact, that defensive outfield trio, with their athleticism and consistent play and also really strong arms, has really, really transformed the defensive outlook of the team. Their errors and defensive metrics have all kind of trended up throughout the season, especially after a disastrous start. And on top of all that, Devers has significantly improved his plate discipline metrics. He's not chasing as much. He's not swinging, so he's walking a lot more. And he's on pace to post a career-best season in the first year of an 11-year deal, and he's only 27. The Sox have a lot to look forward to over the next few years, even if this season is going to be kind of like treading water because they just don't have the bodies. But, injuries allow young players to get thrust into the light and to strut their stuff. And so far, the rookies and the Duran in his sophomore year in the outfield been super impressed. So I'm very, very excited about the future of baseball in Boston, in my opinion.
Yeah. Say I am too. Tanner, there's a famous saying in English soccer. It's the hope that kills you. So I'm hopeful that everything
Boston
turns out
fans
well.
are so spoiled, man. Like, if we're not in championship,
No. I was going with that.
I'm not talking about us three, but I'm talking in general.
Ownership's buy-in is a big theme around the city. And also, if the manager is even in it for the long haul, it doesn't feel like Cora is going to be their guy. Which I kind of get.
I can see that.
I get it.
Hey, Red Sox, they're in it. 3.5 out in the wild card. You're in it.
Right.
You're in it. It makes you think, though, if they, with the injuries in mind, if they invested in the offseason.
I know.
Which, they keep saying that they will down the road, but I don't know.
We'll see. It's a good young core.
They're fun.
And
they're fun bad.
I also will be betting on
average
tomorrow, for sure.
Okay. I kind of, no one cares, but I'll say, I kind of want to go to the game Wednesday. It's a 1:35 start Wednesday. We'll see.
Do it, coward.
You guys aren't. I would love for anyone at this company that lives in the area, but it's not the case. At least if I'm forgetting someone, I'm really sorry. Okay, Tanner, you're underdog for Tuesday.
How about the Colorado Rockies on the money line hosting the Cincinnati Reds? Because screw it. Let's just keep spam betting the Rockies at home. They're 13-12 as a home dog this year. You're up 6.5 units if you bet them every game. They are now 294 and 321 as a home dog since 2005. That's plus 48 units and a plus 8% ROI if you bet them every game.
Wow.
Their opponent, the Reds, just this is going to be a short analysis, but they just don't
Yeah,
have.
real quick, Zerillo is on the Rockies tonight. He had them. He picked them last night. For the dog.
Yeah. Just keep spam betting the Rockies as home dogs. They're frisky. The Reds don't have any discernible advantage on Tuesday. Ty Block and Frankie Montas are the same pitcher in my eyes. Similar indicators, similar strikeout and walk rates. Both throw fastball mixes. Montas has better stuff, but the results aren't there for either pitcher. And Ty Block is actually a better pitcher at Coors than he is on the road. Meanwhile, Frankie Montas has an ERA and expected FIP approaching 7 on the road this year across 18 innings. He's allowed 6 earned runs across 9 career innings at Coors. And his ground ball rate is approaching a career low, which is never good at mile-high altitude. Meanwhile, the Reds lineup is absolutely useless. It is so hapless. It has been shocking to watch recently. The Reds have a pretty big advantage in the bullpen. I adore Cincinnati's bullpen. It's literally my favorite unit in the sport. Fernando Cruz's splitter is the best pitch in baseball. He's throwing it over half the time, over 60% of the time in 2-strike counts, 30% of the time in the zone, just 30% of the time in the zone, 60% whiff rate. Of his 50 strikeouts this year, he struck out 50 of 110 batters faced. 44 have come on the splitter. And it's a funny pitch, too. It's one of MLB's lowest spinning offerings, under 900 RPMs. It's under 82 miles per hour on average. Hitters just can't read it. They swing over the top every single time, even as they know it's coming. But the Reds are also a tad extended in the back of the bullpen. They were used pretty heavily over the weekend. And the Rockies have a significant defensive advantage in this series. The Rocks are an average to above average defense. The Reds rank 28th in defensive runs saved. Brenton Doyle is an elite defensive outfielder. Jake Cave is good in the corner. Ezequiel Tovar is great at short. Nolan Jones is hurt, but that might be a good thing with how badly he's struggled this season. I think he has a 44 OPS plus. But all in all, I'm just going to keep spam betting the Rockies at home. I don't think the Reds have any real advantages here. I wouldn't price this line at anything worse than a pick. I think plus 110 or better is good, especially because the Rockies have all the vibes plus and spunk plus advantages, obviously.
All right. Excellent. Spam betting. I like that term. Final bets, and we'll get out of here. BJ, anything else you'd like to add for tonight?
Not right now. Stay tuned to the Action Network app in case I add anything else, but those 3 right now are my only plays.
Okay. And Tanner's got a couple more, some first 5 plays.
Yep. We'll start with Yankees first 5 money line hosting the Twins. I got a really cheap price. Yankees first 5 minus 150. Probably look for minus 170 or better. We'll see how it moves in the morning. The Bronx Bombers are now the best team in baseball as far as record and run differential go, 42-19 plus 107. And there are really 2 reasons for their success. One, they absolutely overwhelm right-handed pitching. They posted a 145 WRC plus against the side over the past month. That's 19 points higher than the second best lineup. And some quick notes on Aaron Judge. I know he's the hot topic and everyone is chit-chattering about him. Only 3 players in the StatCast era have posted a barrel rate over 25%. Judge in 2017, Judge in 2022, and Judge this year. In 2024, he's posted a 30% barrel rate. That's 10 points higher than any other qualified hitter. He smacked 30 barrels in May alone. 30. That's one a day. You now have to lay juice to bet him to lead the league in home runs. He's laying like minus 125. Just because he barrels more balls than anyone else by a wide margin. So he projects to just hit more home runs than anyone. I think Fangraphs on pace metric have him for 56. I think that might be underselling him. He's always had fairly even platoon splits. This season, 17 of his 21 dingers have come against right-handed pitching. Granted, hasn't seen that many southpaws, but he's got an OPS nearing 1,100 against the side. Juan Soto ranks second in barrel rate this year. He's got a 1040 OPS against right-handed pitching. And many of the Yankees' bench pieces are performing significantly better against right-handed pitching, which I found surprising because they really only have 3 lefties in the lineup. But Volpe, Torres, Cabrera, Wells, they're all hitting better against right-handed pitching. The 2 lefties in the lineup, Verdugo and Rizzo, hitting much better against right-handed pitching. Even Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton, has a 857 OPS against righties and a 537 against lefties. He has an 11% barrel rate against the right side. Regardless, I think the Yanks will smack around Bailey Ober on Tuesday, Minnesota starter. He's underperforming, but his ERA is pushing 5. It's much worse on the road. His stuff profile is super underwhelming, even if he boasts elite command and good extension. He's added a cutter, but that's performing meh, and that won't matter considering the Yankees lead all MLB lineups in weighted cutter runs created. He also allows a ton of fly balls and a lot of barrels, like 12% barrel rate, I think. And that's not good against Judge, Soto, Stanton, etc. Second reason for the Yankees' success. The young rotation pieces have really stepped up in Garrett Cole's absence. That includes Luis Gil. Is it Luis Gil? I think so. The starter for the Yankees on Tuesday, who has leaned into a changeup more, which has helped him generate more weak contact and helped his overall batted ball profile. His fastball slider combination is lethal. Combined whiff rate over 35%, 120 stuff plus mark on the four seam, 112 on the slider, good ride on the heater, good sweeping horizontal movement on the spinner. He's led only 3 earned runs over his past 6 outings, striking out 44 batters in 38 innings during the stretch. He's walking a few too many, but missing so many bats and not allowing that much hard contact that it's really sort of evened out to a good pitcher. Sub 3 expected ERA, sub 2 ERA. He should be fine against an aggressively average Twins lineup that only has a 680 OPS against the right side over the past 2 weeks. I think the Yankees bullpen is among the more overvalued units in the sport. To learn more about that, you should go check out Bettor's Notebook on the app or on the site. So I have no interest in the full game markets, but I love the Yanks behind Jill and against Ober. And I got a really cheap first 5 money line on Monday night, and I think minus 170 or better is good. And a second really quick one. This line might not have dropped yet, but I'm going to be on the Tigers' first 5 money line at the Rangers tomorrow because it's impossible to ignore what Jack Flaherty is doing. He's struck out 90 batters over 68 innings this year. He has 70 in his last 8 starts. And I don't even know how he's doing it. He doesn't have awesome stuff, but he's enforcing an immeasurable amount of whiffs. His slider and knuckle curve both have a whiff rate over 40%. He's getting a little lucky in put-away situations, but his whiff rates are so high that I don't think it's like that much luck. I think the key, my best thesis or theory or what I think is happening is that he has a really high vertical approach angle on his four seam, which is working via deception. And generally, you can kind of predict a player's secondary whiff rates if they have a really good fastball because everything plays off that. So that's my best guess. Either way, I think the Rangers are getting Dane Dunning tomorrow. I don't know for sure. Keep an eye on that because I think that's why the first 5 line hasn't come out. If it is Dane Dunning, hopefully you can get a first 5 line fairly cheap. I think under 130 would be good. Under 120 would be ideal. But Dunning, he pairs a 3.9 ERA with a 5.2 expected ERA. He's walking too many batters. He has super, super below average stuff profile. And his fastball is now checking in under 90 miles per hour on average. The Tigers have surprisingly been the better lineup against right-handed pitching recently, like over the last month. And the Rangers will be without Evan Carter. I can't back the Tigers bullpen right now, but I just got to keep betting on Flaherty during this stupid hot streak until he proves me wrong. He's been so good.
All right. Very good. To wrap up my history lesson at the top of the show, the Somerset Patriots were an independent ball from 98 to 2020. Now they've been affiliated with the Yankees since 2021. There you go. And they've actually won. So they do this thing in minor league baseball where they do first half champion, then second half champion. Then they make the playoffs. That's just how they do it.
That's weird.
Two first half titles in the Yankees affiliated era of the Somerset Patriots. So Garrett Cole, don't screw this up. They play well in the first half of the year, and you could add to that. So there you go. All right, guys, good stuff. You can find, again, BJ mentioned it, find him in the app, Tanner as well, if they add anything else, because we are recording the night before the Tuesday slate, June 4th. Once again, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Also leave your 5-star ratings and reviews. Also subscribe to the Action Network YouTube page. We also have our Discord, Action Network Discord. There's a link in the episode description to take you there. For BJ Cunningham and Tanner McGrath, Brendan Glasheen, thanks for listening to Payoff Pitch, Action Network's MLB betting podcast. We are presented by BetMGM. You'll have a great night, and we'll talk to you again at the end of the week.